I guess for me, it's the UFO thing. I mean, I'm really unconditional around a lot of people's stuff. If people aren't hurting people, they can put any kind of oil they want on any part of their body to do whatever they want. I mean, they may be misguided and all of that. But when it comes to like hurting other people, that stuff drives me crazy. But the UFO thing, I always want to like say to people, okay, look, first of all, the government's really not that good at keeping secrets. I mean, I'm sure they've kept some, but I don't think they could really keep this one. And if they really were here, wouldn't it be on the front page of the New York Times? I mean, probably not the National Enquirer. Like, I'm not that person that wants to confront people on their shit. I'm not comfortable with that. I have a lot of weird thoughts too. I don't know. I love objective science. I think it's essential. I mean, it is real. But, when it comes to government policy and science, I think that's an important thing. I think we need to stick with actual scientists saying actual things. And then I will speak up at a party, something like, hey, there's actual science behind this, But I'm lucky, I guess, that I don't get, that doesn't jab me so much that I'm walking around going, all the time.
It's just absurd in the 21st century that people are putting their heads in the sand, literally, and watching the ocean rise above them, which is what's happening with climate change. But of course, there's one of my favorite expressions is if the only tool you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. And it's kind of a science denial related to physics, because physics doesn't get abused, or hardcore physics doesn't get abused that much as say evolution or meteorology or geoscience. But physics, quantum mechanics gets abused all the time. And there are all these people, there's the Deepak Chopras of the world, there's the people who say, oh, quantum mechanics says that if you just think about the world, if you just think about what you want, it'll happen. And so it's that abuse that's at the basis of the frauds like The Secret and those sort of things, where people, it's a kind of denialism, because they deny the fact that really physical causes produce physical effects. And somehow thinking about the world is suddenly going to change things that you don't interact with. And people abuse it and get a lot of money from telling people that basically they can change their lives and give it unfair credibility by claiming that it's quantum mechanics.
I don't like when they say, well, who's to say there could be an intelligence out there who understands everything we do and cares about our personal lives? You don't know that. I mean, science is so filled with surprises. That could be one of them. I hate that comment because, first of all, it's true. That is a true statement. We don't know if that's the case. It's so unlikely to be the case. It's so fantastically unlikely to be the case that even to consider that it could be the case is ridiculous. And I also know where it's coming from. It's just coming from somebody who really just likes to think that there's something looking out for them and guiding their life and everything makes sense. And they're just saying that to be able to hold on to their own crazy spiritual New Age beliefs or religious beliefs. And they're trying to couch it in a way that it's about science, and it really isn't about science, and it's really just about them not being able to see the world clearly. But they're forcing me to say, yes, that's a legitimate option, possibility. Right. Even though it really isn't, and it really bothers me.
It is the climate change denial issue that pisses me off the most. Because the arguments that I heard as a kid, and remember, I'm in my 50s, right? So, I mean, I have a little bit more experience than millennials do with the way our generations change. When I was a boy, I was told that no species can ever go extinct because God wouldn't allow that. Just like God wouldn't allow a meteor to hit the Earth because everything in the cosmos is perfectly designed like a fine watch, right? Well, then meteors hit and many species do go extinct, and then you got to come up with your excuses. And they always want to insist there is nothing that humanity could do to the environment because God has set it up all perfect and we can't affect anything. But if you are aware of how we got our atmosphere to begin with, like as being the side effect of microbes over billions of years, now we have internal combustion engines and major industries worldwide that are pumping out pollutants into the atmosphere way faster than microbes can do it, and they're doing it on a systemic industrial level worldwide. I think the idea that a belief could be fixed is the very definition of unreasonable. And it also implies that belief doesn't warrant investigation, which means it's not true. If it can't be investigated, if you refuse to allow it to be, then you already know that it's not true and that what you believe is bullshit. And I've met people who say, who've admitted in one way or another that they know that what they believe is not true, but they believe it anyway. Because they make believe. It's pretend.
98% of the world's climate scientists agree that climate change is real. And the majority of it is man-made, man-caused. 98% of the experts in the world agree to that fact. However, the majority of Republicans in Congress do not buy it. They're not buying, no. They say the science isn't in. We've got to remain scientific. The science isn't in. Yes. That every year, record temperatures. Every year. We've had crazy weather patterns like never seen before. The polar ice caps are pretty much gone. In the last 2 years, I think we've had like more F5 tornadoes go through Tornado Alley than any time in history. And that's not caused by climate change. No. That's caused by gay people fucking. That's what they say. Just so you got the science correct on this one.